Oh, hey, quick thing. Everybody look up. I'm just going to be, well, a lot of people don't know this, and it's a big shortcut. Everybody look up. If you ever want to repeat exactly what you just did in your calculator, I want to run my program again. If you hit second enter, it just puts in the exact same thing you just put in. Second enter, and here's something wild. Want to see something really cool? You can go back in time. If you keep hitting second enter, second enter, second enter. I've done a lot of this quadratic. Oh, I cleared my calculator, right? But it would have shown because I cleared all the RAM on my calculator, remember at the beginning of this lesson? If you guys hit second enter, second enter, second enter, second enter, you can see what other people typed in the calculator. Go ahead, try it. Second enter, second enter. See if you can see any embarrassing math in there, like where a ninth grader was like, what's 5 times 1? Sometimes you gotta just check and make sure, you know?
Sorry for the interruption, but just a reminder, our junior high football team will need to leave
56 plus 2?
2:30 with a 2:40 bus departure. Please release your junior high
Okay.
football team at 2:30 with a 2:40
You should.
bus departure.
All right.
6 students will ride on bus number 13.
All right, let's be polite and listen.
13 students will be later than normal, bus 13 students will be home at normal times, with bus 6 students will be getting home a little later. So bus 6 students, please ride on bus 13. Your bus 13 students will get home on normal time, with bus 6 students running a little bit late getting home. If you have any questions, stop at the office. Have a good afternoon.
Okay, so here's what I want to talk to you about. Be polite to me and pay attention. When you're doing this, where does x squared minus 64 equal 0? What does an x squared equation look like? A parabola, right? It could go upside down, or it could go this way, right? A cup, or like throwing something on the ground. Okay? This one looks like this, I think. And it crosses at -8 and 8. That's why the answers are -8 and 8, because that's where they're equal to 0. That's where they're at y equals 0, right? Okay. When you put in this last equation, you get something that says this, non-real answer. What does that mean?
No solution.
No, it doesn't mean that.
It means you have I.
It means you have I, because I stands for imaginary number, and if something's not real, it's imaginary. Okay, so here's what this graph would look like. I truly don't know what this parabola looks like. I mean, or I could. Hernandez?
Yeah.
I could just look at the y equals and find out, but I'm guessing it looks something like this. There's a parabola. Do you see how it never crosses? Okay, that's because it has an imaginary answer, and which doesn't actually cross. So on these types of problems, if you ever get one that says non-real answer, that is one you're going to have to do by hand, because it's going to have a negative under a square root, and it's going to have an I involved, which your calculator is terrified of.
What if you just make a program
To what?
about that?
Yes, if you make a program about that and you show it to me and it works, then I'll accept it. Okay, all right. So your homework is, I'm taking the homework from last night, I'm adding on a huge amount. I'm adding 6 problems. And you get to use your program on them. But there are a few that are a little tricky that I want to talk to you about. Now, that's yesterday's assignment, right? 15 through 36, multiples of 3, 53 through 55. And then add 59 through 64. And you get to use your program on those. But a word of caution. If you look at page 121, or I guess 122, let's look at a few of these problems together. What was it, 59 through 64? Okay. See this 1/2 and 1/4 and -3 that you put in your calculator? You could call that 0.5, 0.25, and -3, right? You can also literally just write 1 divided by 2 in for the A spot. 1 divided by 4. In fact, don't round. If you ever have something that's like 1/3, don't say 0.33333333. Write in 1 divided by 3. Okay? Same thing here. You see how this one is 2/3? Type in 2 divided by 3 there. Don't type in 0.66666666667. These ones are pretty straightforward. These ones are straightforward. Do you remember what Carly did for number 1 where she had to move the +3 over first? This one you're going to have to move it over first before you put it in your program. Look at 63. What do you think about 63? What should we do? How can you make that go into your program? You're going to have to use a box or foil, and then you're going to have to move that 4x over. Could you just set these equal to 0 instead? No, why? Because there's a 4x over there. If it said 0 over there, you could just set them equal to 0 and be done. Okay, so you're going to have to multiply these together with a box or foil, and then subtract 4x, and then throw it into your program. Same thing with 64. Okay? All right, go to it. You got the rest of the hour. You should get done pretty fast.
Say it.